war is so unjust and ugly that all who wage it must try to stifle the voice of conscience within themselves. The progress of humanity can be gauged by the success of efforts to change existing institutions in the direction of greater justice and compassion. The truth, when it becomes useful, is as good an expedient as a lie. A man is like a fraction whose numerator is what he is, and whose denominator is what he thinks of himself. The larger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. A man who does not think for himself does not think at all. The family is the test of freedom, because the family is the only thing that the free man makes for himself and by himself. The reason why men are so anxious to attract attention of their fellow men is that they are impelled by a secret instinct to seek for help, to have their weaknesses compensated by the other's strength. Everything that can be counted does not necessarily count, everything that counts cannot necessarily be counted. The highest wisdom is to know yourself. The highest and most beautiful things in life are not to be heard about, nor read about, nor seen, but, if one will, are to be lived. The difference between life and literature is that literature is what one writes, and life is what one experiences. The family is the nucleus of civilization. The greatest happiness is to know the source of unhappiness. Leadership is the art of persuading others to follow your path. The simple joy of one person is, perhaps, the most valuable thing in the world. All violence consists in some people forcing others, under threat of suffering or death, to do what they do not want to do. A man is like a fraction whose numerator is his actions and denominator is his words. Truth, like gold, is to be obtained not by its growth, but by washing away from it all that is not gold. There is no greatness where there is no simplicity. The only way to discover the limits of the possible is to go beyond them into the impossible. The essence of the Christian message is to love our neighbor as ourselves. To simplify complexities is the first essential of success. What counts in life is not what costs the most, but what brings us the most joy. A man's true wealth is the good he does in the world. Anything is better than lies and deceit. The most important aspect of every man's life is his duty to God. The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. If you want to be happy, be self-sufficient, for then you won't have to rely on the faults of others. The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. Only when you face a situation squarely, know its full meaning and its very worst, can you come forth with a decision that will serve you well. A ship is always safe at shore, but that is not what it's built for. The most important knowledge is that which guides the way you lead your life. All that is not given is lost. Happiness is an unrepentant pleasure. The only way to understand the world is to accept that it may never be understood. God sees the truth but waits. Love alone is worth the fight. All great literature is one of two stories: a man goes on a journey or a stranger comes to town. No matter how hard we try, we cannot escape the consequences of our actions. The only real people are those who never existed, never die. Everyone has their cross to bear. It's not the destination that matters, but the journey. The only real failure in life is the failure to try. Real joy comes not from ease or riches or from the praise of men, but from doing something worthwhile. The wise person knows that peace of mind is the greatest good, but a warrior must be prepared to fight for it. the chief happiness for a man is to be what he is. All love is based on the recognition of one's personality in another. The purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well. Anything that is done for love is done in the name of God. Man, the same moment that he sharply realized the truth of life, lost his joy. The most difficult thing but an essential one is to love life, to love it even while we suffer, because life is all that we have. The human heart is like a ship on a stormy sea driven about by winds blowing from all directions. The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. Perfection has no part in love. Even in the darkest moments, light always prevails. The very best and most perfect life is the life that is lived inwardly, within the limits of the mind and soul. Not always do men understand the true value of life. The future is always unknown, the present always temporary. Money does not create anything nor provide happiness. To neglect one's purpose in life is the worst kind of failure. Believing in oneself is the first step to achieving anything. Music is the shorthand of emotion. There is no greater heroism than the heroism of courage, patience and acceptance of the inevitable. The success of anything is dependent on the quality of work put into it. In order to change the world, one must change themselves first. Happiness is found in what we enjoy, not in what we have. Love is life itself. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. The essence of life is progress and growth. True friendship is like sound health. The value of it is seldom known until it is lost. Great things begin with the small acts of kindness. All the beauty of life is made up of light and shadow. The most important things in life cannot be measured by time or money. The greatest achievement of man is in the conquering of oneself. The only true wealth is the wealth of the heart. Joy is the most infectious thing in the world. To be happy, we must not be too concerned with others. Everything that happens to us is a result of our own choices.